This is Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Bottalico, I'm Michael Barkann. In a moment, Ben Davis from the ballpark says right here, 5-4, Phillies go down. They've lost 4 straight. They've lost 6 out of 7. They are 4-11 in their last 15 games. They are getting to be a laughingstock at this point, 11 games back with the Mets still pending of the division, never mind the wild card right now. Ricky Bo, we continue to ask questions about Joe Girardi and the management of this team because that's what we're left with. The players are who and what the players are. But with regard to the bullpen and Andrew Bellotti being in there and not Sir Anthony Dominguez, what say you?
Well, that's a little ridiculous because if you go by Girardi's 3 days in a row, Sir Anthony threw 1 pitch on Saturday, right? Yeah. 1 pitch on Saturday, 12 or 11 yesterday. And he can't come back and pitch. It is weak. It is sad because there should be all kinds of other things. Because now when you look at it, what happens for tomorrow? Knebel should be gone, right? Bellotti most likely 20-something pitches today. Familia, that's 2 days in a row for him, so he's out. So, I mean, what are you really left with? You saw Brogdon up twice in the bullpen today. I'm lost with the whole bullpen thing. Do what you got to do. But what happened here today, and I understand Corey Knebel get up the home run. We're gonna get back to that. But I have to go to Andrew Bellotti. You are facing the number 9 hitter in the lineup for the San Francisco Giants. Number 9 hitter in the lineup for the San Francisco Giants. You throw him 4 straight sliders. You throw 96 miles an hour. What in the world are you thinking upstairs? That's what I want to know because you're not thinking like a pitcher. If you're just sitting there, I'm going to slider, you know how easy it is to hang a slider?
Which is what he
did. It, didn't he?
Boom. Well, and Casali hit it out of there.
Guy throws 96, 97. Throw a fastball.
Ben, we talked about Kyle Schwarber breaking an 0 for 21. He ties up the game in the late going. We talked about Nick Castellanos also getting off the schneid. Mickey Moniak comes back to the lineup for the first time this season, and yet they still cannot score. I don't know how many different lineups. I've lost track. It was about 38 at one point, and by comparison, the Dodgers were in the 20s with different lineups this season. What else can a manager do in Joe Girardi putting together a lineup that'll score more runs than this?
He's trying everything, Michael, and the tough part about what the Phillies are going through right now is the stuff you just mentioned. You forget about the good things. Castellanos really is looking like he's coming out of this in a big way. The home run, that ball he hit to right field off Leon, I mean, that was exceptional. That was professional hitting. We forget about that. We forget about the bullet that Schwarber hit up the middle for a single, and then he goes up top off Logan Webb in the 9th inning to tie the ball game up. We forget about these things because of the woes of different parts and aspects of the game. And it's a crying shame that we forget about that kind of stuff. But yet here we are talking about it. It's Joe's trying to find a lineup that's going to be productive. It's just right now nothing's really clicking where they can put up those big crooked numbers on a daily basis.
Ben, we forget about those things because these hits happen in the wilderness. They happen by themselves. The Phillies are second in solo home runs in baseball, which means guys aren't getting on base to be driven in by these shots. They're all solo shots. Castellanos, Schwarber, they got 38 solo home runs, and that's number 2 in baseball.
Yeah, and that's a crying shame. What happened last year? I think Bryce's first 11 home runs were all solo shots, if I remember correctly, something like that. It was crazy. You're looking at the home run number being a high and the RBI total being low. But yeah, they got to find something where they can just keep rallies going. And unfortunately for the Phillies, sometimes it seems like that home run ends up being like a rally killer because you look at the home run that Rhys Hoskins hit. I think it was the 4th inning.
Yes.
He hits that home run, and what does Logan Webb do after that? He strikes out the side. So I think sometimes they use that as the home starting pitcher's like, I give up a solo home run, it's okay. As long as nobody on, I'll deal with that. He gave up 3 home runs today, did Logan Webb, but they're all solo shots. The guy pitched 8 stellar innings.
Hey, Ben,
it's frustrating.
Back to Webb. I don't know if you saw it. In the 8th inning, after the 8th inning, he was in the dugout going back and forth with Gabe Kapler. It looks like he won, didn't he? Webb.
He did win. It didn't work out for him in the long run.
No, it didn't.
But yeah, he did win that battle. And you know what? He had every right to go back out there. At the time, Rick, he had given up 3 hits. 3 hits, and 2 of them were home runs. So you think, yeah, you know what? The guy earned it. He had 10 strikeouts in the game.
Yeah.
he only had 94 pitches,
he
send him
ended up
back
with
out.
100.
So I think, listen, if that's the way it is, I'm going to send my guy out every time. I know that the Giants have a good closer there. You saw what Camilo Duvall can do. That guy's nasty. But, he thought, hey, if I can save a little bit, they still only used 3 pitchers the whole day. 3 pitchers did the Giants use.
Correct.
And think about how much that goes into these next 2 games against the Phillies. That's a feather in their cap because they didn't have to burn anybody today.
Well, like I said, Phillies are depleted now.
Yeah.
I mean, for tomorrow, it looks like, because if you go by those rules, Familia, Knebel are definitely out. We saw Brogdon warm up twice today, and you had Bilotti throw 25 pitches. So, they're going to be a little bit depleted for tomorrow.
Well, I think you're going to, and Brogdon got up twice, but I think you're going to have to see some of this, some bend to the rule, because they can't go out there with 5 guys in the bullpen tomorrow. It just can't happen. They're going to have to find somebody else out there and say, you know what, Joe, I know you have the rule, but I'm good to go today if you need me.
All right, Ben, thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right,
Ben
fellas.
Davis joining us from the ballpark. Phillies now 3-10 in one-run games. 3 wins, 10 losses in one-run games. So if it's close, the likelihood is they're going to get the L,
Good teams
unfortunately.
win those games.
Yeah, they do. And that's right now not the Phillies. They're also 7 games below 500 for the first time in half a decade. For the first time in 5
Deservedly
years,
so.
they're 7 games below 500 and now on a 4-game losing streak. Let's hear from Joe Girardi about this loss.
Was Roman injured there, before the 9th? It looked like there was some confusion with him getting out.
No confusion. He had a little contact issue. I must have got dirt in that one of his eyes. I'm not sure which one.
How concerned are you with the way Knebel's pitched this month? We talked about it a little bit earlier
Yeah,
today, but
I mean, it's tough. But, everybody in that room, everyone in this room, right, has went through hard times in their life. And you get to the other side, right? Or you wouldn't be in that room, right? And sometimes what you're going through seems like the worst thing that you've ever been through, but if you look back, you can probably point to a spot in your life where you've got through it. And they just got to continue to do their work, continue to grind this out. It's going to turn. It's going to. And I believe in them. I believe in Knebel. I believe in everybody in that room. There's a lot of fight in that room every day. We've been through a grueling 2.5 weeks, and we've been through some really tough losses. They'll respond.
Did he leave that pitch up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you see it better than I do, right? Because I don't have replay. But yeah, I mean, it looked like he got too much of the plate in the middle is my guess.
Has there been kind of a common theme in some of his struggles this month? Is it mostly location?
I think it's mislocation, yeah. I mean, that's usually the common theme for pitchers. When they don't pitch well, it's usually mislocation.
I know I asked you this before the game, but you keep sticking with him
Yeah.
in the 9th inning?
Yeah.
Do you feel like Mickey was pressing it all at the plate today?
Possibly. Maybe tried to do a little bit too much. But eventually you got to get that first game out of your way, right?
Joe, when you lose games like this where you have the late homer to either tie or go ahead, I mean, how do you stay the course situation?
You keep doing your work, right? You keep preparing the guys. You keep encouraging the guys. I mean, that's how you do it. Again, this is a marathon. And I'm not saying that it's early, but this is a marathon. And just as easy as you can have a tough 2.5 weeks, you can have a really good 2.5 weeks. But, we have to clean some things up. We have to do a little bit better in all facets of the game. But the ability is in that room.
Got to say, I love this Girardi quote. Everyone in that room has been through hard times in their life, and they get through on the other side. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in that room. I'm not worried about them getting through to the other side. I'm worried about me getting through to the other side, Ricky Bo, because I can't take much more of this.
Let's face it. These last, 4 games have been horrendous. These have been probably some of the worst games that rip your heart out games. And to me, I look at a game like today, and you keep saying to yourself, they came back. Okay, Schwarber, big home run. But you're just waiting for that downfall with this team right now. You're waiting for that one bad pitch that we saw from Bilotti in the 10th inning. This is what this team is right now. I understand. Joe Girardi, it's easy to say, yes, these guys work. Nobody cares about the work except for the guys in that room and those coaches. I get that part because what it all comes down to is wins and losses and where you stand in those standings. And you look at where the Phillies are, and it is deserved. They deserve to be where they are right now. I'm not saying that, hey, Joe's right. They could have a great 2.5 weeks at some point, but how much are they going to catch up to the New York Mets at that point? They have let the Mets get into orbit, and the Phillies haven't put gas in their rocket yet.
Yeah, and guess what? The wild card's going to get into orbit too. They're going to be trailing that as well. And by the way,
give the number for 86 wins. Go ahead.
86. They'd have to play 15 games over 500
15.
From now until the end of the season. From right now to the end of the season
To get to 86.
To get to 86. If you think 86 is going to get you to playoffs, never mind the division. Is it even going to get you to the playoffs? And do you think really they're going to do it? I hope so,